Dear Heavenly Father, please be with us and use our energy to the good of the community. In Christ's name, amen. And if someone would like to lead us in pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, order of business, nominations of officers. Raise your hand for the president or chairman. Nobody? You all be can. Would you be interested?
My only hesitation is there may be multiple meetings on here by Zoom.
Because I live year round.
Yeah, I think that's for most of you. Two of you live here, you're out. So.
Are you putting me down?
If I'm not. Okay. I don't know if y'all know, but she came up to me after the lake cleanup last year. She and her husband found us on the trail where we were doing our chalk art. And came up with the idea of the water festival fun run turtle trot family event. And was very instrumental in making that happen. So to me, that is proof that her heart is in the right place in White Lake. And she's a resident of Raleigh, has a place at Turtle Cove, is very handy because she built a storage building in the backyard.
I saw that. That's awesome.
All right, so we're gonna put you down as a chair.
Should we
Yes.
introduce ourselves on the record?
Okay,
Should we do that maybe?
yeah, let's do that.
Sure.
And tell us where you live here and where your permanent residence.
I'm Erin Seiling at the lake. We are in Turtle Cove and permanent residence is in Raleigh.
I'm Sandy Ammons. We're on Bay Haven Court. Our permanent residence is Fayetteville.
I'm Susan Guy. I'm in Culberth Landing and my permanent residence is Fayetteville.
I'm Kathy Kinlaw and I live here. Candy Boyette, Turtle Cove and Wilson, North Carolina. Permanent.
I'm Ed McLean. My wife and I have a cottage between the Scotland and the Marina, and we live in Raleigh.
And I'm Susie Holland, and this is home.
Right. No, Vice Chairman? Any nominations or would you like anyone like to volunteer? So that's secretary. We will be taking minutes and getting the agenda to the town clerk.
Because I live here, I would be willing to do the secretary
Okay, thank you.
position.
And Vice Chair?
No.
Thank you. The next thing is bylaws. So this is the one that I used in a while, like trails or something as the template. I want y'all to read through them, I'll be quiet for a minute, and you can see what needs to be changed. I know there is one thing, because I've had 9 members and the town decided 7.
Is outdoor a firm commitment that we only want things that can be done outdoors?
That's a very good question. She has talked about having bunker tournaments or
Oh,
things like that in colder weather, or just raining indoors, or like a group that met regularly.
that was my question, that I thought initially it was more about recreation, not so much specifically walking and biking. That's part of it, but it was more of a broader recreation, developing all forms of recreation.
I think that's a great change and better to do it now and have bigger scope from the beginning.
Because it can just be the Recreation Advisory Board and not the word outdoor in there, which
Yeah.
opens up lots of doors.
Are you taking minutes?
I am, I see.
Thank you so much.
I'm on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, so our bylaws have to go before the board in August. And any changes to this document will be in our original bylaws. They'll have to be approved at the next town board meeting. So the name change needs to be in. So we'll just be recreation.
And then if you go down to section 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th bullet, take out the word outdoor recreation, just because it could be, I mean, ideal if we had a rec center that could be indoor and outdoor. And then we want it in section 3 to represent the interest of,
Citizens and visitors, yes. And
Yes.
just do away with the bicyclists and pedestrians.
well, yes, citizens and,
So we may have to rewrite that whole paragraph.
There's a lot in
Say
here that-
again what that change will be.
Section 3, it has a lot about bicyclists and pedestrians that we need to take out.
or to say including. Because I think that is a big, I mean, that's kind of a big primary focus, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So read to me how you would correct that. Please. We're taking out bicyclists and pedestrians.
Or just having bicyclists, pedestrians, and
Citizens and guests seeking recreation.
About
Or
residents.
it could represent the citizens and guests, including bicyclists and
Right.
pedestrians.
To provide information about recreation activities.
This whole paragraph is very,
Very wordy.
and very bicycle pedestrian
Yeah.
focused. I'm not sure that it wouldn't just suffice to say the duties of the advisory board are to represent the interest of
residents.
residents, yeah. And not get specific to any particular activity.
Or do you want to
I
specify?
agree there, but also say, but not limited to bicycle and pedestrian. That's-
And then you pick up again with service liaisons with livable community advocates.
So then we need to change bullet 4. In section 2.
Just take out the word bicycle and pedestrian, and just to advocate for recreation facilities throughout White Lake. And say facilities and activities, is it good, probably done. Organize activities in people's homes.
You'll try to record it.
Y'all are, you're suggesting things faster than I can write them down. So, may I let you know that I'm gonna record?
Well, he's recording it already.
Will I have access to that?
You know what? I don't think it picks up voices really well,
Okay,
so.
so may I?
Yes.
Sure.
Terry, do you have this in the form of a Google Doc? I think it's important for us to talk to it, for us to talk about it as a group, but I also think because we're making so many changes, it would be really good to go back and have it available tomorrow for a few days, so everybody can go through and
Yeah.
give more thought to it maybe, or just pick up on things that we missed.
So does everybody know how to comment on Google Docs? You need a tutorial. Have you, do you use Google?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you use Google Docs?
No.
Do you use
I
Google
have, I
Docs?
have used it, or have. I have been able to stumble through and look at Google documents and put them back in. Yeah,
Okay, so if everybody can comment, and if you're having a hard time with that, just send a text and I'll add the comment in.
okay.
So I think Kathy, for the purpose of the minutes, if you just want to have room, making it a broader recreation, not specific to bikes and biking pedestrians. That's more recreation facilities and activities. I don't know if you have to document every.
And if I can just answer your question, Kathy, yes.
Yes.
It's gonna be a public meeting that's recorded, that the public has access to, but certainly we can streamline the process of the secretary.
Okay,
So, I mean, that's just stuff we're gonna work through, but absolutely my access.
sounds good. Thank you, Sean.
Right. Article 3, good. Or do you want to just table this and everybody look at it at their leisure?
Given that you have a meeting at 7, it would be a good idea for us to look at it at our leisure.
Okay.
You have a meeting at 7 tomorrow night?
No, she's got another meeting.
Oh, tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Order.
Okay.
Okay, so let's
So
set
they
it.
have to change the name of it. So I can do that for the hour.
Let's set a deadline. Do you read through, make comments by?
You have to have it Wednesday, right?
I'll need it, the Friday before the meeting, which is the second Tuesday, I believe, August 12th. So, Tina, Madam Clerk will need it, just double check myself here, I don't want to tell you the wrong time.
Well, last month she said on Wednesday before.
The document is due, we publish our agenda this month, August 10th. So probably a day before that would be beneficial.
Let's say by Wednesday, by Tuesday, have all edits in, and I'll make a final draft and look at it Wednesday.
That's the
Tuesday of
20
next week.
That's the 28th or something, 29.
No,
No, I mean, the following.
the
This
5th.
is fifth, yeah.
Well, do you think we can wrap it up a little?
Okay,
Yeah, let's
you
make
want
it
to?
shorter so we don't forget.
Yeah,
I
we can do it quicker
Yeah.
on that.
So have all edits made by Tuesday, the 29th?
Yeah.
Then we'll get it to you as soon as the final draft is ready. So the next thing on the agenda is this massive document.
How did this come about?
Did you write for a full grant? So the town and the county both wrote and received 4 grants.
Oh,
Outdoor recreation, economics, you will see it was connected.
Outdoors, outdoor recreation.
There's a C at the beginning.
It's creating outdoor recreation.
Okay,
does the grant pay for the study or is there
Yes.
grant other funds left?
the grant paid for stuff, and was it Rocking? Rocking Now, they did it last year, that presented at the conference that I worked with the team and it'd be great spaces
Hmm.
for the community.
This team has done a lot for the entire county over the last couple of years. They've provided a lot of learning sessions and a lot of it in person and a lot of things offered online. It's really been quite productive.
It's impressive.
You're talking about Upland.
Yeah, but core is, it's all, and they're two different things, but
And the county is actually working with an agency called NC Growth and Core to promote some county priorities, so definitely been a fantastic program.
So they have, where we had the landscape school at state, the other core grant had regular business school as the person who's putting the documents together with direction on how to build towards the. So yeah, these students and the associate director have been down several times.
So the gist of it is they're proposing a path around the lake. Where it can be a wider path. Or where over around where we are, where there's some issues with the road and structures.
Well, we're not as bad as the other side. 53 is a hot mess.
So it'll be a sidewalk when it can be a wider path. That's what's proposed, right?
Well, they prefer it to be a wider path, but if DOT is going to do sidewalks, protect sidewalks. And that would be on Lake Road, White Lake Drive.
Mhm.
I thought you told us that that was starting this September, but when I checked, it's not quite there yet. It's
Our preliminary design work is starting in September, which it's a long process. And our DOT representatives was telling Commissioner Holly and I on an email chain, they hope to start construction next year, but they hope. A lot of they can change that, but we're starting engineering phase for lack of a better term in September as I understand.
And is there money?
DOT would take that.
DOT would pay.
That is 100% federal money. Our state grants.
Okay.
And it would go from traditions to the Scotchman.
Oh.
But where the bigger problems are on the other side of the lake, around Sandy Cove, Clarkland Village. At the end of Clarkland Village, when we were riding around with these guys in the van, they were looking, they had their easement glasses on, so to speak. And there's one house at Parkland Village that the easement is their parking deck. I mean, just,
Right there on the road. I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, it's going to take a lot of work to get those easements cleared, I think. And we were talking with the Zoom call to these guys that we will try to involve DOT in that too.
There's been a lot of right of way work done with the project, which is tremendous. Because that's just a tedious process going through and pulling old records, but there's definitely a lot of easement work in our future. And if I may, just a brief update on where we stand from a staff perspective, so the board is aware. Staff is working, we have on-call engineering arrangements that are in place. With 3 engineering firms that exist now, we are working with them as a starting point, but I think the goal, as I understand it, is to look for a planning grant, which will allow us to take this visionary plan, preliminary plan, for lack of a better term. I think it's more than that, because you do have the easement work and the right of way work that's constructed. But take this plan and turn it into a shovel-ready project. So that's our next step in terms of where we go from
What's the word you said before, project?
shovel-ready.
Shovel ready. Okay, I'm sorry. I have a little hearing problem, so I
Well,
wasn't
they
sure what
could
you
do
said.
this construed several ways.
Okay. Okay.
I was saying before you got here, I wasn't sure what the next step would be with this, but planning grant. So I think that there are 2 out there right now. One, since we're connecting Mountain to Sea and East Coast Greenway, and we have 2 state parks within close reach on trails. It connects state trails. I think that's one, and then there's another one that's due in September. I'll find those, we'll start looking for those.
Is that the integrated mobility division study that's due in September?
Maybe,
That's one of the ones that brought my attention. I was checking on you, make sure I got that right.
yeah. Mountain to Sea is part of, or they're building a bridge just this side of Jones Lake over Turnbull Creek. So if you go down Sweet Home Church Road, about halfway down, you see where all the trees are painted different colors. It's a study on trees. They collect the seeds and do things with them. But if you turn there, it takes you to the old Boy Scout camp, I think is the name of it. And when you get to the end of the road there, the creek is right in front of you. If you walk back a trail to the right, you can see, and I think Ben said in September is when that construction starts. And he's working hard to get land to bring it from that trail behind the golf course and to come out at the old prison, and it would tie into our multi-use that bit. So that's what.
How are they gonna cross
the road?
Carefully.
Yes.
Now, when that comes down 701, are we gonna be able to put the pathway on the highway right of way? Okay,
Yeah. From what I understand, the easement is like between where the telephone poles are, or back towards the road from there.
right between the telephone poles and the edge of the highway,
Mhm.
and it can be done in that area. Okay.
Yeah. We're not gonna get where it's wet down at the Keith Pheasant property, just outside of Turtle Cove. The plan before had been to build a bridge, but the bridge was gonna cost over $1 million. But they think that if we build in that right way, that it will be a lot cheaper. They're suggesting that we plant trees, and DOT reinforced that when the trail gets close to the road, it would be beneficial if we had some kind of vegetation between cars and the pedestrians or bicycles. And if you've ever walked around the lake, you know that walking on that edge where their tires are right there, you appreciate any kind of position off of the road, and especially with some kind of screen between them. Because you never know when it's raining what that water is that's hitting you in the face as the hot truck goes by in rain.
Yeah.
It's just never know. So, yeah, those plants would be appreciated. So look over this and I'll find out what those 2 grants are. And send you links to look at those. And I'm speaking for these people and others in the community who have written grants, I think would be willing to help with that process. Because it's a lot to ask staff to do all the things y'all do every day. Let's write grants to give us things that we want. Would there be any matching funds available in?
Potentially, so there's a couple of different ways to slice that pie. And it's really hard to talk in specifics now because we're still waiting for a state budget. We're still waiting on a couple of things to come off of the state budget, a couple of funding sources, programs to come off of the state budget to be laid out and hierarchy to moving forward. So the best I can say now is potentially. And certainly what you to just speak to the grant narrative stage, I think that's applicable for the board, work through narratives, recommend grants to the board commissioners. We also work closely with the 3 engineering firms and potentially others who have their funding divisions, so collaboratively. I think what I see, this is just my opinion, and maybe it becomes more, but what I see is the benefit of this board being able to put the local aspect into the expertise and the funding divisions that the engineering firms have. We've missed some of the polish in the past, and that's gotten better and better with tied in safety aspects from Highway 701, or just separating vehicles and pedestrians. And some of that we're just up against it. We're in a tough spot. You've got $1 million request for a boardwalk for a path going roughly a mile. It's just not competitive when you look at some of these other applications going up against. So there's a lot of good things going in our direction, but again, I really see that as a positive for working through the grants with the advisory board, particularly on the narrative piece and or program that we recommend to the council to apply.
Also, Susan was asking me about county things today, and that may be somewhere we can go to get some of the matching funds.
Sure.
Because people from all over the county come and use the multi-use pad. So that's another option.
We've had, and on that note, we've had interest from the county before. We've had private citizens that maybe we could re-engage, and in certain state and federal monies can be mixed. Can't be, it's a state program with another state program, or a federal program with another federal program. But that's where I say there may be some matching funds available. You look at things like golden leaf funds, for instance, or USDA funds. We've had a grant from them in the past when we thought we had to work with the wetlands. So there's things out there that can be used, but or we can tackle that further.
Okay. Something that I lost it. All right, so the next thing on the agenda is brainstorming. It's time for y'all to voice some ideas. And remember, we're no longer the outdoor recreation, we are recreation at White Lake.
Well, I have a list. If I can find it. Let's see. Just like I said, brainstorming ideas. Pickleball, tennis, shuffleboard, frisbee golf, basketball, swim lessons, swim team, sunfish race, boat float tie up for fellowship just out in the lake, line dancing, shagging lessons, inside bridge, canasta games, arts and crafts, instruction for anything. Bridge lessons in a workout room, cooking classes, bunko or White Lake trivia.
Oh, I had a suggestion, something I saw in Key West, which I thought it was such an easy thing that would really cost us nothing. Every full moon, they have a full moon bike ride. And so people gather in one spot at sunset and they bring their bicycles, their golf carts, their tricycles. They decorate them with flags and lights. They get together, they have a big group photo at sunset, and then they ride a path together and just ride a bike. They ride their bikes. And I think that would be amazing. I think we could do it now, even if you just went from like Scotchman to Clearwater and then ended back up at Golston's. And it was just such a fun activity. It brought a lot of community and it was something you can do year round. And everybody's like, how do we join? I thought that was just such a cool thing. And I've talked to a couple of folks who would love to see like yoga classes down here. You could do it in a indoor or outdoor, and I think that's something that could appeal to all ages.
I made a list too. So, and we would have to collaborate with the business owners for some of these things where we need sand, for example. For older folks, we could do a sunset, I can't read this, a sunset on sand in my shoe, sorry, shagging on the waterfront near the bar, which would help the business and could be fun and at a regular, maybe once a month. And that could go into the fall and even to the winter months when it's not so cold outside or too hot. I think that doing sand castles, which we've done with the Water Festival, that's, if we could make that a regular thing for school kids, that would be fun. We've done the sidewalk chalk, the sidewalk canvas, which is a lot of fun too. And if people know it's coming, I think that we would have people coming out. Pickleball was on my list. I've seen the large Lego blocks that you can buy, which would be really fun down on the waterfront for kids. Do y'all know where I'm talking about? I know most of you do. When I say the old airport, across from Howard's house, that would be a great place to fly kites on an afternoon in the spring. Back at the bar again, outside on the waterfront with microphones and free music, we could do karaoke. When the trail opens, all of it, I was wondering if somebody in the community would be willing to rent bicycles, which is not unlike when you were talking about the moonlight thing. It maybe, you know, if we could do bicycle rentals tied in with the gorilla store, for example, someone that isn't doing that kind of thing now.
Isn't something outdoor?
Yeah, where is that? I've always seen it on Facebook, but I don't know where it is.
Here at the lake.
Huh. Let me see.
Okay. Frisbee golf is popular with my neighbors on the waterfront and easy to do. Yoga, I think would be a big deal. And I think that could be done at Lake Church out on the pier. They've got nice pier space there. And it would help spread some of the fun out around the lake. We used to do the cardboard boat race at the marina, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was
Did
huge.
they do that at Clearwater recently?
Oh, did they? I did not know that. To hear that that's back. And I think that's all for me. What I do. What, several years and several years. So,
But there it is. It's called White Lake Outdoor Company. I've never known who it is or where it is.
and Kelly posted that.
She reposted it.
Okay.
Mm.
Those are things we would need to know. I mean, we could have a website that is a subset of the town website that says, lists these activities and when they're going to happen. Even if we don't know right now specifics, if we knew that in the fall, we were going to do, you know, a shag event near the bar, people could get excited about it.
Yeah, and the new business that keeps trying to open the skeet shooting, I'm not sure what else they offer. That would fall in line with this.
Yeah, it would.
No, in Cumberland County, we have like a tax on tourism, and then those come back as grants to help promote more tourism. Is that something that's available in Bladen County?
It's something that could be available for Wi-Fi if
Okay,
the board,
okay,
if not this board.
right. Well, it's something that helps. They give grants out to help you market your event if it puts heads in beds and brings people, and I would think these things would attract. And that's why, if we ever get pickleball or something like that, we need to make sure we have enough courts where you could have a tournament. And people would come to town from all over for a tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And some of those would be an
So,
attraction.
I don't know about y'all, I think that little piece of flat ground back there.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Turtle Cove has the tennis court already. Our last January meeting, she mentioned something about getting it changed for pickleball, but I don't know where it went from there.
Well,
That was in January when we went, I didn't make the one.
Is that
this summer.
private?
Yeah, Turtle's had it.
That would be just for Turtle Cove.
Well,
But
seems
seems like, I would think you could,
I
yeah.
would think they would, yeah, but we had someone get the price to convert the courts and it was much more than I think what he anticipated.
Okay.
So. But then we haven't met again, so.
Well, we should, you should look on Holly Springs, they have mixed use courts, they have courts that are tennis courts. And they've got lines and pop-up nets.
Yep.
With,
Nice.
you can use it for both.
Yep.
So another direction to go, Susan, jog my head in this direction. If we had land that could be used, it could be that the county parks and rec would help us in developing parks here, because we don't have one. Yeah. And they don't presently spend any money on anything that benefits us directly, because it's all team sports. And that doesn't really. Average age of people are about like 60. So we don't have a lot of little ones playing t-ball. But it may be an option that if we use town land, that the county could help us put facilities on them. So, anything else? For the good of, what is it, Kathy? For the good of the community.
For the greater good. Always working for the greater good.
Yes, I think that's been my vote.
Well, I will say, I know we've been hit with a lot tonight, but I was in a tourism committee meeting this morning and they're just now starting the planning for the trail weekend in February. So if we could think about that a little bit and have a presence there in some way, I think that would be a good start for us. And in February, you would maybe get people who are looking for, the whole idea is to get people here year round. And then it would be a good peek into next spring and summer.
So I think in the past, a lot of the people who come for trail weekend in February are more from Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, that area. And this is the third year.
Now, is
And they
that
have-
have anything to do with Browns Creek or not? That's something
They
completely
have-
different.
They have guided tours, like there's a tour on Saturday morning at Jones Lake, and on Saturday afternoon, backside of A Tree. They do a tour at Singletary. And on your own, they say you can do our own multi-use path or a trail at New Neal. But it's a whole weekend of different trails that you can do. And Susie and I have been working this year on getting Elizabethtown, White Lake area a trail designation town. So we'll be in the outdoor NC brochure for, how many did they pick? 10 every year? And so 7 of the trails in Bladen County will be the main ones, and then any others that we can work with.
Yeah, it's very fluid. Once you get into the directory, those can change. So we can, as we develop the multi-use path, that information will be updated.
But go online and look at the trail designation. It's a magazine, a digital magazine that you can look through. I think it's very prestigious that we have been chosen this year. It was with a lot of work.
And what's the web So what would you go under trail?
Trail designation,
Okay.
I think it's what it's called. It's not, please,
Is this through the state?
it's through Outdoor NC. Outdoor NC is coming to Bladen County December 15th and 16th, or 16th and 17th. And they want to see what we've got. So we're putting together 2 days and night. So they can see what we have. So there's a lot going on.
Do we know the dates of that in February?
Yes, it's Valentine's weekend. So that'll be 13, 14, 15.
Anything else?
It sounds like a lot, I mean, a lot is happening. What are our next steps? What do we do these next couple meetings? How can we be helpful?
I think probably our first priorities should be this spring, because I think September is a big deadline. So if we could work on those. Would it help if this advisory board read the county commissioners?
So,
Do you think it would be helpful if this advisory board wrote to county commissioners about looking for funds, for matching funds for grants?
sure.
Or just to introduce ourselves to.
That would be good.
And you might even get a delegation on their agenda.
When do they meet?
First and third Monday of the month, I think. Like 6.
Can we do a little bit better what we're asking for? We'll start going there. Is it, who has this grant? This grant is due in September. Who's the keeper of it right now?
It's a great question. I can give you some more information on that, or I can send it to whomever is the person that's going to distribute it. I just found out about it recently, so I'm just not prepared.
So nobody's starting it yet. Nobody's working on it yet.
Oh, in terms of working on, it, no, not yet,
Okay.
because we just received this deliverable. That's Friday. This plan, as you see before.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had to have that before we could.
I just had preliminary conversations, but I do intend to follow up with the folks that I'm talking with. I hope that will lead us down a path, but if not, I can certainly be prepared to give a little more detailed update next time.
So I think that recreational trails program grant is one that we would qualify for. And that deadline is September 5th. You get up to, I think, 1,000 for that, 25% matching.
Is there a plan, are you looking at a specific section? Is
Is
there a planning designation there, or is it just up to?
Let's see that.
Okay.
I don't remember which one I was looking at yesterday, maybe this guy will put that. This is North Carolina's recreational trails, it's state parks. That's the one I was thinking about. So permissible use is new trail greenway construction, trail greenway renovation. Approved trail greenway. Trail markers, purchase of tools, land acquisition, planning, legal, environmental, permitting costs. So that's that report.
And the other one I mentioned that was the integrated mobility division, IMD feasibility study, that's the NCDOT. Under their trails feasibility study.
Do we have like a budget, like a ballpark, what the whole thing would cost?
And that's really the purpose, I think, I'm still waiting to get some clarification back. And probably the next meeting, I can give an update on that, with more specifics too. But I think that's where we need a planning grant to take this plan and turn it into that shovel-ready project, which I guess in layman's terms, just getting across. And make something that we can apply to the grant that would, they would fund, so. Not sure what the ballpark price would be.
So we do have plans, but it was like the $1 million bridge over the wetlands. And from that point on, we had the easements. Signed off. As to the parks, the 3 parks, as the Marine have already signed easements.
But if DOT takes over that part of the project, that will not be our problem anymore. Our focus can be somewhere else. That was a really big hurdle, so the fact that they're picking that up is huge. Between that and the bridge. I don't know a lot about it, but just looking at those 2 things being handled, I feel like it makes the whole project a lot more doable. And as far as waiting around, one of the things that frustrates me the most is the hurry up and wait and, oh, well, you know, we have to have this before we can apply for a grant. Well, right now we could apply for this grant if it's nothing more than signage for the existing multi-use path or plantings for what we already have. So it's not like, okay, you know, this looks like it's gonna take another year to kick off. If there's money there and we have a need, and we certainly have that, why not just go for it?
There's another trails grant that by population. So I think we only have to pay about 10% matching fund. Different counties have different rates, but we're one of the 5. The other ones, so
Tier 1 count.
Tier 1 seems much nicer. Right, so Secretary, you come up with our agenda for next month.
I will.
We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Public comment section.
public comment.
Layton, what do you think?
I apologize for being early and late.
So all in favor?
All in favor? To adjourn.
No.
No.